look, Wings want revenge for that 3-0. That's how I look at this. That was the third place decider.
That's a good way to spin it, Gods. Good job.
Let's find out if they get the revenge, because we can actually continue to talk about it, but we are in the draft, so we can find out what the teams have. By the way, I kind of want to take back that I feel like Liquid is in the same position as LGD, because LGD already had faced EG, which was the second of the group this morning, while Liquid still has to face Virtus Pro later today, which is going to be a match to watch out for. It's going to be a match after this one, actually, on this stream. But first, it is time for Liquid to face Team Wings, and it is Liquid ban out Earth Spirit.
Maybe Wings takes the test.
Yeah.
If Liquid bans out Earth Spirit, obviously
you might want Chen. I think it's a good chance they take Chen here as well, or like Avenge. But I think giving away Chen plus Tusk is very. Is it that bad? You don't. Tusk as a support when you've got Chen isn't amazing. So we'll see. Io's the other hero that's still in the pool as well. So this is a pretty open hero pool as far as what's left right now. The Invoker first stage ban for Wings, I think it's kind of a bit of a throwaway ban. It's not saying Liquid have been prioritizing in the first stage, but because they had first pick, they say let's just ban out like a possible second pick type hero.
Wings had a game against Vega yesterday where Blink played Batrider and completely destroyed Vega. Yeah. So Liquid did do their homework, and it is indeed a Chen first pick, so if Liquid wants to, they can secure themselves.
I don't know why it's taking this long, and they're just going to get Tusk. Unless they have a crazy something else they're trying to
try. Well, they're deciding their second pick, because you want to pick them together so the timer goes over to Wings.
10 seconds remaining.
Generally speaking, if you pick one hero, you give your opponents info that they can then think about, and it's still on your timer. But it's either Tusk Death Prophet or Tusk Razor here. Because they're Dire side, they sometimes go Razor. I think if they're Radiant, they go Death Prophet. The Dire jungle just really favors the Razor. You farm really efficiently, and it's comfort zone for Liquid. So if they want to go for stable comfort zone.
Dire's really strong right now.
Across the Tusk here though. Whoa, they're not
going to get the Tusk.
They go different. They have a different plan.
No Tusk, no Death Prophet, no Razor.
No Viper even.
Mind Control Darkseer, that's like his actual best hero.
At the same time, you can't ban them all out, so some of them will be in the pool still at the second phase.
Derek's bounty, we're actually going through the heroes he's played yesterday when I was cast with Owen, and we looked through Dota Buff, and it was 5 pages back. None of his 80 recent games had a bounty hunter, but there was one bounty in his last 100 games. Because Twitch was like, he's played bounty hunter, but we don't believe that.
I don't believe you.
And he had one bounty hunter.
I think this is good because Liquid are in a confident position where I'm pretty sure they're pretty confident that they're going to move on, so they can try to play something a little bit different, try to make sure that they show different drafts, so they're not quite so shoehorned into knowing that they're going to pick either Tusk or Spirit.
And no one's really figured out like a good way of dealing and answering the Chen yet, so they're going to.
And Liquid were the ones that banned the Earth Spirit, I guess, because Wings had the first pick, and ZRD plays a pretty good Earth Spirit as well in the offlane.
Yep. So Oracle is the Darkseer pseudo counter, as well as a good safe lane support for Wings. So they're not revealing any of their core heroes with this opener.
Interesting. Why the Oracle here? Is it just to deal with the Darkseer, just all the purges?
Darkseer, and he's got pretty good starting stats and stuff. Like he doesn't get completely owned by Bounty Hunter. If you find the bounty in the jungle with Oracle plus Chen, you can use like Purge and go for a kill.
Would you not be worried that with basically their two supports locked in, they kind of lack certain control on the side of Wings that they have to make up for in their cores?
Yeah, absolutely. They have to pick an offlaner that can give them a good initiation as well as control, even maybe a safe laner as well. I mean, it could be all 3 cores. Like you can pick heroes for those roles that give you down that you need. Or alternatively, if you're not going for lockdown, you go like all out 5-man type push. Team Liquid here. They're in a. I feel like as far as the opening for the draft goes, they're in the kind of. They're the ones in like the driver's seat as far as dictating play right now. Like they force it's been kind of reactionary with the Oracle pick to the Darkseer. And you see this Darkseer Bounty Hunter, and now it's up to Wings to say, how are we going to deal with this Darkseer Bounty Hunter? If you're Liquid, you're not thinking, how do we deal with the Oracle? How do we deal with the Chen? You've already got the answer to that with your bounty pick. Right.
Yeah, for Liquid, perhaps easier to ban out against Wings right now that the 2 supports are. You just have to ban cores that you don't want to face that would have a chance to disrupt your own gameplay. Just the Morphling, any other hero that you feel like would throw a wrench in the works of Liquid?
I mean, the carries that can do well against Darkseer, the Gyrocopter always is the big one that gets mentioned, although the Gyro Oracle lane, like,
Anti-Mage?
I don't know. Anti-Mage could definitely come in. I think Anti-Mage is a scary 4th pick, just if Liquid don't get heroes that deal well with Anti-Mage and you suddenly pick it up later on, cause problems off of that. The anti-mage actually sounds like a pretty good idea.
Well, Tumor Man's anti-mage is really good.
Oh, so we'll talk about more for
We're talking about more for wings. Okay.
Yeah. I think Liquid here, it's you don't want to rush. No one wants to rush into an anti-mage with their third pick, most likely.
Right. I agree.
If anyone does, it's more
Shadow's anti-mage is good too. It's not like if you're a carry player, most carry players will know how to play anti-mage.
So Liquid, I'm not going to go pick Tusk with Bounty Hunter.
I'm gonna
Could go Razor. This is like still an okay time to pick up the Razor, but no, the
Kuroki with
Doctor. Great. This to me is the first times I saw like Chen and Chen just get picked up, I was seeing teams pick CM, and everyone forgot about how good Witch Doctor is against
you get the full
creeps.
stun direction.
Yeah, full stun duration, and it hits more than one. Like Frostbite, you Frostbite one during a push, it's like, okay, you still got the other ones, but Witch Doctor cast, hits the neutral, stuns them for the full duration, and then bounces to heroes. Like, it's actually way better, I think, as an answer to Chen, and the hero itself is better in lane. It zones out off lane is better, it contests just the lane in general better, so I think this is a very... previously underpicked here against Chen, although we're seeing it more and more.
We saw it, Witch Doctor, we saw Witch Doctor picked up by LGD against the Chen from Artstyle on Navi.
That was a game where MMY was going up against a Pudge and still went Midas. That's one Witch Doctor.
That was great. And it's Jarok, just the Darkseer laning counter, I guess. Yeah. They're going to need a secondary carry for mid that has either the mid or offlane that gives them like some late game as well, because you can't push with Gyrocopter, and you also can't go late game with these three heroes as well. So they need a mid who goes late game.
And does well against Razor.
Does well against Razor, and ideally has some stuns because they've got no stuns. So there's a lot of criteria to fill for like your one hero.
What hero fills all those criteria?
How about a Dragon Knight? You're gonna not win the lane, right? But at least you generally wouldn't lose.
It pushes. Well, it's not amazing late game, but I think it's like the Chen Dragon Knight that pushes towers really fast.
5 seconds
and also doesn't get pressured much by a Bounty Hunter because you're tanky.
And kind of grouping up in the mid game is how you deal with the Bounty Hunter pick.
Time.
Any other heroes you can?
No wave player, no real team. Like not a ton of team fight unless you're like winning the team fight.
I think they could just go for, like if they want to go for like a mid carry like a Shadow Fiend, they just need to get an offlaner like an Earthshaker or something that provides all the control and lockdown they need.
Clockwork provide enough control, you think?
It's kind of like you go in and then you're done. Like I'm not convinced by a Clockwork.
5 seconds.
They're running out of time. Actually, this is already the bonus Starladder.
There we go.
That's our offlaner then.
Liquids turn to
have some control.
What kind of? And they want to go for. And this means like all your heroes doing a bit more physical damage, but none of those three heroes actually right click all too much. It's flak, it's spread damage. So I think they're going to go for like a mid physical damage core. If they want to go something safe, it's more like the Viper. If they want to go something a bit greedier, they can get in the Shadow Fiend.
5 seconds.
The TAs is just such a bad matchup versus Razor. I don't think that's playable.
You feel like Gyrocopter can do okay by himself against the Darkseer and put like the Oracle mid?
Not with a Bounty Hunter in the game. If Bounty just shows up, you just get dual kill at that point.
But the Chen would still be close by as well.
Yeah, you just don't know when Bounty Hunter's going to show up. So like you can't actually leave the AoE of your tower, because once you get hit by a Janata, Iron Shell Bounty Hunter, you're just straight up dead. I think it's too risky to leave Gyro by himself.
Team Liquid's turn to pick.
Actually, he's the other player where we haven't talked about his hero too much.
Apart from that, he is playing really well this tournament. It's just solid.
The last pick for him. Gyrocopter, you can fit in so many different heroes here.
Yeah.
They haven't got much control and lockdown themselves, just the cask, vacuum. Vacuum, not exactly something that has much uptime as well. Is that reliable for a team fight? Oh, well, it's the big team fight wombo combo, but
5 seconds remaining.
See what kind of extra damage dealer they get. Slark kind of comes to mind, but
reserve time.
There's a bit of lockdown with the pounce.
I'm looking around, like a lot of his normal heroes, like they don't really fit crazy good. Like he's played a lot of Lyke in this patch.
I mean, Ember Darkseer is like
Ember makes sense, but is Ember fantastic?
I mean, Oracle instantly gets rid of Flame Guard. If it wasn't for Oracle, they would have picked Ember 2 minutes ago, and like as their fifth pick, they would have picked Ember right away. But it's because of Oracle that they're like, is it still good? Can we play Ember? You also got Starladder who's good against Ember.
Right.
Like they may just say screw it, let's just pick Ember because the hero it fits the Liquid draft. It just gets so hard counted by the Wings heroes.
Yeah. I'll also pick out an Ursa, but I don't know if this is a very good Ursa game.
Sure, Ursa seems okay. It's not. I mean, the Chen creeps are pesky.
Medusa. Okay.
So Medusa has actually been played quite a bit on the second stream, but not actually. This is the first time it's picked in the mainstream.
Yeah.
Nice.
Matuma's played it before. This patch just once. Just once.
It was in the major I saw the game in the major qualifier, so it must be the game where he pulled it out.
Right.
Did win that game. It's kind of like a death ball push. I think they had a death prop of Medusa that game. The Razor doesn't quite push as hard.
Snake hurts. The new Mystic Snake hurts a lot.
It bounces off Chen creeps. That's like a lot of mana return for the Medusa. So I think it does pretty well there in that situation.
5 seconds
and
remaining.
we need some serious damage output.
Well, they don't have any time left. 4 seconds in their bonus time, and it's gonna be a Slark. You mentioned it.
Who's mid? Gyro mid. Okay, that's actually not a bad solution.
So dealing with the Razor, yeah.
Yeah.
Is this gonna be the max rocket build?
Oh, hi. Welcome back.
You look different there, Shiva.
So yeah, how does the gyro build? Is this the max rocket build?
Max homing missile, sure. Yeah, it works.
Rocket barrage, but missile,
rocket,
yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. I think you can max homing missile if you want, and just look to control the lane, give Fata issues in the laning stage, and then you get level 6 cooldown. You can even try and maybe rotate into his jungle, steal his neutral stacks if that's what he's going for. So.
Is it the right draft for Wings to take down?
Oh, I still think Liquid have the better
okay.
draft. I think it was a good change their last pick, putting the gyro mid and picking up a carry because they needed something else. Like there was no mid heroes that would have fit their draft. TA would have been a great pick except for the terrible lane matchup. He would have just got wrecked. So I think it was the right move, although I still favor Liquid.
And well, we're gonna find out if indeed Liquid is gonna take this game home and secure themselves the #1 spot here in Group B. It is time for the game. Let's go.
Thank you very much, Shiver. LD, joined here by Scant. Scant, our first ever cast together.
Yep. Hopefully it's going to be a good one.
Excited to see the South African flavor. Do you have like a signature move or phrase that you're going to bring to the cast?
I don't know. I'm sure the chat will tell me after the tournament, but I'm not aware of a signature phrase that I have.
I'm sure they'll make something up. Yeah. For now, apparently, you're Purge Light. So.
Okay, Purge Light. I think that's a compliment.
Okay. It's better than calling it an insult. You might get some angry fanboys after you. But what do you think about the draft here overall? Do you agree with the analyst evaluation that it's just a clear win for Liquid, or do you think it's a little more even?
I mean, yeah, Liquid look really good. I think I agree with that. I think that it makes sense to pick up the Slark because Gyrocopter was just not going to win the fight later on against Musa and Razor. But now there's a mid Gyro, and we're going to have to see how that goes.
You can see Liquid chatting a bit. I think they may be talking to the admin. Not entirely sure, but team's getting ready here. Wings, this is a must-win for them. But, you know, the thing that I found really interesting was I didn't realize just how ridiculous Liquid's win rate on this patch is. 23-5. That is... Now, I know you originally have a Statsman background. Like, of course, it's not the biggest sample size, but I feel like 28 games is enough to say this team is really doing well in this patch.
Yeah, they're doing very well, and whether or not, I mean, we could say that they weren't always playing against the best teams in those games.
The competition was...
But it's still important because they got the momentum. And we noticed that when we talk about how Liquid and LGD weren't invited to the major, they both went through qualifiers, and then they come to this tournament, they look so strong. A lot of that's to do with the fact that they went through the qualifiers. They got those extra games, and so they're much more experienced in that patch. They got a better idea of how they want to play, and
they're comfortable. They have their way of playing. There is a little more footage on them. That can be the downside sometimes, is if another team is able to break down your style. But it seems like they have enough options with their drafts that they're able to mix it up when say like the Fodder Razor gets banned out, or we see the early roaming heroes for Jerax. I know you and I were discussing, is it worth it to even ban out the Tusk as well as the Earth Spirit, which he plays both of them magnificently. But this time around, no Tusk, so it will be a change up. With that, I guess we are just waiting on the teams to get set here. So. Game is currently paused, apparently.
It's quite amazing, actually, I think, because they banned the Earth Spirit themselves, because obviously Wings had first pick, and then the Tusk just went through the entire draft. Am I right?
Yeah, I think they almost certainly would get it most games, but it was a first overall pick Chen, and it seems like Liquid had a plan to deal with any sort of jungler, at least Chen specifically, because they snap picked Darkseer Bounty Hunter just like that.
I wonder if Jerax was like early on. There was some like chatting when we were eating, and a bunch of us were like, "Oh man, what's your third hero? You've just been playing these two." I wonder if he was like, "I'm gonna show these guys." I got more heroes.
I swear, I have other heroes, guys. I ain't no Admiral Bulldog. Yeah. Come on now, give me a little credit.
Because we all know that he's a great player and he can play other heroes, but it's just been such a long time since he played heroes that weren't those two that it's like, for me, personally, it's exciting to see him on a different hero.
Jerax has really come a long way. I mean, you look at the Jerax story way back with, I think it was the Q-Pad Red Pandas. Was that where he...
Yes.
He first got noticed, and there were a couple games where I'm like, my God, this guy is making sick individual plays, and then they would be offset by like, really questionable overextensions. You could see the inexperience, but a long way since then.
Yeah. No, he's. I mean, right now, especially when he's on his Earth Spirits or he's on his Tusk, I feel like he could be the most game-affecting early game player in the whole tournament.
I would say probably the best roaming support right now, especially with Vici Gaming no longer really plays. We don't see like their dual roam, FY Fenrir, buddy, let's link arms and just run around the map and kill people. So I think with their decline as far as that style goes, he's emerged as the best roaming support right now.
Absolutely. I definitely agree.
No pressure, Jerax. Nothing to live up to.
So what was he going to be on in this one? Was he the witch? Would he be... I don't remember. They had the Witch Doctor and
they had... Is there any way we can take a look at the heroes while we wait? Roman?
They had Medusa and Razor. They had Dark Bounty Hunter.
Bounty Hunter, yeah. Bounty Hunter, Darkseer.
Would he play the Bounty Hunter since he's the rogue?
I think he would play the Bounty, most likely.
I think I have seen Kuro play it before, but it does seem strange to switch it around when he's always doing the roaming. So
I would most likely expect him on the Bounty. Not to say he can't play the Witch.
So it'll be interesting to see because he's I pick him as the top Task or Earth. I mean, there's people as good as his Task or good as his Earth, but I feel like he's the best at the two combined. And for number 3, Bounty Hunter, throw him around the map with that.
All right, he's expanding the repertoire. No, they can still ban him out. He's got to get at least 3 more on the list before we can no longer fully remove him from the draft. But looking at the winged draft on the flip side, I feel like a big storyline for this patch has become like, can you deal with Chen as a team? Because a lot of teams are prioritizing the hero. He's gone from maybe like second phase pick to first phase pick, now often first phase banned. It's a pretty big grab, and obviously Wayne's value it a lot. I'm curious to see, is this actually effective? Because when I cast, my last game I cast today was the EG versus Fnatic game, and EG got the early fear Enigma, but similar in style to the Chen early on. You are going to focus on your own farm if you don't see gank opportunities, and they picked Bounty Hunter. They warded the jungle. They still could not shut him down at all. He had maybe like a minute slower farm than you otherwise would get, but the Bounty also got nothing out of the laning stage. So
it's a little bit different, right? Because the Enigma just has to shift to farm somewhere else, whereas the Chen, you expect to have the timing to like also apply pressure early on.
Yeah, but with the new big camp, like, do you also ward that? Because I haven't seen anyone ward the offlane big camp.
Yeah, that's the thing. So it's very difficult to completely shut out the jungle. Yeah. But I think when you're against Chen, maybe your plan is not to just completely shut him out the jungle. Just like make sure he can't affect the game early on, and then you've neutralized a lot of the effect of Chen. And I think that's probably doable. I think that's what Liquid would go for. And I'm gonna be honest, because I don't know how else. Wings are the one team in this tournament that I've watched. I just don't completely understand the way that they draft, and they're clearly a very good team. They clearly understand Dota a lot better than me, but I cast them playing against Vega, and I thought that they were totally outdrafted and they destroyed Vega. And the other games I've watched as well, I can't figure out exactly their approach. And here again, like they bring out that last minute mid gyro. So I don't know if they just have like a totally different style of thinking about the game, but I feel like other teams I can usually at least figure out the general thinking, the plan. And
do you think we're going to see the homing missile max mid?
Well, Winter would love that. I don't know.
I actually imagine it's quite annoying for Razor, who just wants to constantly be running in and linking you, but...
Complexity ran that. That's what I was chatting to Winter about it recently. They ran safe lane Invoker mid gyrocopter, and it was like, shoot the rockets and then Sunstrike. That was their combo. But I don't know if there's, like, what's...
It's very gimmicky, though. Like, if you don't get a lot done, you can't really catch up from the jungle. You have way less single target burst in team fights, and I mean, obviously, if it comes to a larger scale engagement, you're very reliant on cooldown to get anything done.
Yeah, I feel like they felt pressured into doing it exactly as the panel said, based on the fact that they needed to pick another safe laner. Yeah. They had to pick up the Slock. Oh well, Gyro will have to be mid, and then we'll see what we do with that. Kind of.
What do you think about the Slark last pick? I'd say this hero's been pretty unsuccessful overall the past couple months, especially in this patch. Haven't really seen many good Slark performances.
Slock's meant to be a really strong hero when there aren't things to control it, and I don't think Liquid actually have anything. Their supports are Witch Doctor and Bounty Hunter.
And they don't have that much AoE. They have, Darkseer, Razor is okay, not great. You can usually just pounce out of the static link.
Medusa. Okay, so her ulti is quite good, but most people I think of Slock as being good against Medusa because you've got that kind of like pseudo mana burn. I mean,
you start taking her stats, and she has a lower mana pool. So. Yeah. And you could also, he's very elusive, right? So if you can't lock him down, you just wait for the Stone Gaze, then you back away, you reset the fight, and then you go back in.
Honestly, I think the Slock pick is very good. It's just a shame that they already had the Gyrocopter, and so it makes the draft feel awkward to me. But again, I want to repeat, like, I just really don't understand the way this team's drafting, so there could be something I didn't see. In that Vega game, it all made sense after the game. But before the game, I couldn't get it.
Wings are they're smiling, they're excited, they're ready to go. They look pretty loose.
Yeah, they definitely
relaxed.
They don't look that tense.
Maybe they saw a good masseuse last night. Tell you, man, it's cold here. You know,
Yeah.
you need to loosen up a little bit every once in a while.
Maybe they like the cold.
Hit the clubs in Minsk.
I like the cold actually. No,
You do.
I mean, in South Africa,
Does it get cold there?
No.
No.
I mean, it was 38 degrees or something when I left, and then we got here and it was like -6 or so. I'm talking about Celsius, right?
Well, you came more prepared than Winter, who saw fit to bring a pair of flip-flops. And when you land in Minsk, the plane actually, it lands on the tarmac, you pull up to the gate. You know, most airplanes, you have like the tunnel that comes out and directly brings you in. But no, you had to deboard the plane, walk on the tarmac, which was covered in snow. And he's doing it in flip-flops. So
yeah,
by comparison, you are very well prepared.
Yeah. I think I was pretty well prepared, and I went to New York last year. That was the first time I actually went to anywhere cold with snow and stuff, and I really enjoyed it. So this time they told me it was going to be a bit colder, but it's just, I don't know, I feel like it's a different kind of experience. It's like life affirming when you have that
life affirming snow.
Yeah, it is.
Everything, just feel it more keenly.
Exactly. I mean, I don't want to like stay out there forever, but just for a few minutes, just.
I think people who actually live in cold weather climates would quickly disabuse you of the notion that it's something to be enjoyed, or it's just suffering, and you get through it by drinking lots of vodka.
I mean,
that's how people do it.
That's certainly something I've heard.
From going to college in New Hampshire, I can tell you that there's a lot of drinking the winter. At least, then again, it was college, but
yeah, well. College.
Cold is suffering.
Do you think there's any?
That's the moral of my story.
Do either of these teams have an advantage? Like, are Liquid or Wings more used to cold weather?
Pretty cold in Shanghai, I think. I saw a lot of complaints. Actually, WCA was not in Shanghai. It was like more. Was it Yinchuan? I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but it's like a more isolated area. I think even up in the mountains, maybe. But it was really cold there. Apparently, it was in the negative as well. So maybe they're well trained from that and ready to go.
Do you know where exactly Liquid stay? Are they in a team house?
No, I think they all live at home. Okay. So, Fada, Kuroki in Germany, Mind Control Bulgaria, Tumbaman and Jurex from Finland.
Finland and
somewhere in Europe.
Is he Swedish? Yeah, I'm not sure. That's
he's a European.
Any of those places extreme.
Finland's pretty good.
Jurex will maybe that's why I'm saying he's like the best playmaking player in this tournament. He's used to the cold. And there's all the CIS teams.
I am still totally down for Valve to just flip. So if the majors don't work out, if they're a total bust by the end of the year, and they're like, you know what, we got to change things up. It's all gonna slacks about it. Let's just go full Survivor with this baby. Like no more. Players always complaining they want the chairs to be ergonomic and the internet's got to be just so, and 144 hertz monitors, and the conditions have to be right. Don't put a camera in my face. Don't bother me with glare. Let's go the other way. Let's make the conditions as bad as possible for the players. So we'll have, the Siberia major. We'll have the tropical jungle major. You got to fight your way through all kinds of poisonous creatures, and maybe someone doesn't even come back. I just want a major where one person doesn't return.
How about they don't even play Dota? They end up playing what's that mobile game that they had at that other... Do you remember there was a Chinese land that had I think it was called Dota Legend. It's like based on Dota, but kind of phone game. I don't know how that works.
Let's settle this over a rousing battle of Clash of Clans. Yeah, but Secret has a Clash of Clans team.
Do they?
Right? I think they have a Clash of Clans player now.
I don't know anything about Secret except for the Dota team.
I know they have some mobile game player on their roster.
They did
officially sponsored now.
They did start just as Dota, right? Or were they saying else?
Yeah, they're just Dota. They used to be. Look here at our players. Which player do you think would be most likely not to make it back?
Out of these players, or
no, just like in general, like any Dota player.
I don't know. Is there a player that's known for being very demanding?
I think it would be Bulba. I really think it would be Bulba.
Because he's a vegetarian.
All right, so at the viewing party for the summit, random fan comes up to him. He's like, "Hey, eat this." Bulba just ate it. He didn't ask what it was. It turned out to be harmless, just a nice fan, just offering something to eat. But I'm like, dude, what are you doing? I don't think Bulba would last more than a couple of hours. I love him dearly. Sam is too trusting, I would say. So with that, we're underway, guys. It's Wings versus Liquid. Crucial match for Wayne. Still pretty important for Liquid, but Waynes need this win to have a chance. They are Radiant side Liquid on the Dire.
30
here we go.
seconds to battle.
Game is there. We're gonna try and work out in the early game the plan for the mid lane Gyrocopter, who we've been told by Winter is in China he's called Dagger, but around here we call him Blink. So apparently his name translates actually to Blink Dagger.
Yeah, and apparently it should be Dagger if you're just gonna abbreviate it, is what you were saying.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know, but the whole tournament we've been calling him Blink on the panel. I don't know what you want to go with this game.
I want to call him Blink Dagger. That
Blink
sounds
Dagger,
awesome.
Dagger? Okay. Good luck with that in the fight.
Blink Dagger jumps in with the Blink Dagger. Okay, it's gonna get hard quickly.
And it is Kuro on the bounty actually. It's not actually gonna be Jack, because I remember seeing him play it.
And he is gonna take a bit of harassment here. Should be okay. Yeah, good call. Kuro will take over that roaming role.
That is a bit of a, like, if you consider the fact that Liquid are so used to having Jerax playing that recently. Beforehand, actually, there was a stage where Kuro was playing a lot of roaming Quap and Bounty Hunter and stuff like that, and Jerax was kind of the lane support. So it won't be that. Oh, and Jerax is actually here with Kuro. They're both roaming.
All right, here we go. This is the Chen counter, baby. It's the dual roam strat, the Bounty Hunter Witch Doctor. They have gone for the double big camp sentry drop, although it looks like the one sentry may not actually block it over to the south. As there's a first blood bottom lane.
Off lane Medusa.
This is not the expected lane matchups. What's going on with the Dusa off lane? Do you think they're just expecting the two supports to be able to make that lane easy for her? Applying pressure in the jungle?
Guess so. I mean, Darkseer should do pretty well against Starladder, that's for sure.
I guess they're trying to avoid the Oracle versus Darkseer matchup, at least early on. It seems like that's the most likely reason for it.
That makes sense, but Medusa then needs to be careful when the supports aren't there.
But then you're an off-lane Medusa. So.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's level 1, so she doesn't even have a point in the shield yet.
But there's actually been in response to that, we see that Chen is actually on the other side of the map too. Gonna try and help out the Starladder, put pressure on the Darkseer anyway. It's gonna be very difficult for them to actually kill the
Ice. Looks like he wants to make a move here in the top lane onto the Darkseer. Starladder in the area, but at the same time, the Gyrocopter also getting harassed heavily in the mid lane. Fada stealing tons of damage and has the move speed to run him down. One more auto tech, the Fada Razor up to his usual tricks. But maybe a trade from the Oracle. Oh, so close, yet so far. Fada glides away on just a fraction of HP.
I think someone on the panel said, I think it might have been Gods, that Gyrocopter might be a way to deal with Razor because you use Rocket Barrage early on, you don't depend on your damage. But that's if you're fighting him. If the Razor's chasing you and linking you, like, Gyro's actually really weak in that situation. So I feel like the Gyro's options are, like, get away sooner or actually just fight into him.
Well, this is, I think, the least effective start for Chen we've seen in the tournament, actually. And a combination of the roaming, the Chen just getting scouted out as he rotates, and then not having a good gank target. Darkseer already level 2. You're not going to kill him easily with this combination, but they will smoke.
They've even sent in dust just in case they run into the Bounty Hunter, just to make sure that their smoke isn't wasted.
This is so much space created, though. Meanwhile, Darkseer is free farming the top lane. Even if you get this kill, I feel like it almost has to be the Razor to be worth it. Just getting the Bounty Hunter, I would say Liquid are pretty happy with that.
Fada is actually going into the...
Fada, low, in trouble. He takes the bait, but then he heads to the north. He may actually make it out of this one. Turning back for the crush on Kuroki. They're not really being coordinated. Now the Gyrocopter on his own. He's going to commit towards Fada, who's stolen a lot of damage. The Rocket Barrage will get denied to the Ancients. No, they're going to grab the double. All right, well, that smoke egg was worth it. And Wings turn it into a 3-1.
But this is what I'm talking about when I say I don't really understand Wings, because they do this like out of nowhere. What was that play? But it works out. And
the Starladder level 2 offlane smoke at 3 minutes in, and now suddenly level 3.
Really good stuff from them. I think that the Chen took penitence for that. I think he needed to level. Yeah, so
yeah. Winter's been a big penitence advocate here when he's been casting. Feels like it just makes it a lot easier to secure kills early on compared to the Test of Faith build.
It got a pretty big buff recently, I think, so you can take that value points and get quite a lot of value out of it. Well, that's why I call it value point.
Well, it would be a pretty shitty value point if you take it as a value point and don't get value out of it. South African logic we got here. They go make their move on to Fada. Oh, the damage overwhelming from the Oracle, rolling through the mid lane, as well as the Bounty Hunter. What looked like a great start for Liquid has quickly fallen apart.
You know, I wonder if this is like deliberately part of Wings' thinking. Like they dropped in a way that's so like around the like. I'm sure Liquid are thinking just like us, like what is the sense? What's gonna happen? What are they gonna try and do? And it's exactly the same thing I saw when Wings won their only game that they did win this tournament against Vega. I was really not sure about how their draft worked out, and then suddenly from the early game they were just making kills left, right, and center.
They're so chaotic in their movements and their play, and now we're gonna see it again as they jump onto mind control. They snare them up. They followed up with a quick crush. I mean, this is just you gotta have wards everywhere. You just don't know where they're gonna come. Suddenly, the Slark is rotated top. The Oracle journeyed from the bottom lane. Ganks mid, secures the top rune, then ganks the top lane. The Slardar's already smoke gank with the Chen. Like, this is musical lanes. In spite of that, Liquid are farming a bit better on the cores, but doesn't seem like it's enough to fully make up for it.
They've got a little CDC in them, don't you think? Like that Korea needs a second hit. He's not going to get it, but maybe
I feel like CDC their roaming is different. It's a little more. It's very effective. It's just more traditional. But like it'll be like the gyro roams once he hits level 6. So it's the same formula for aggressive game after game, or if it's a strong ganking support, then he'll rotate.
It's the similarity is the pace. On Kuro actually gets the rotation from the gyro from the mid lane, the slaughter from I don't know what lane.
What is going on here? But Pimpmuckle is being kept busy this game, that is for sure.
For me, the similarity is that people said one of the most advantageous things about CDC is that they play at a really high pace early on. You don't get time to like figure out what they're doing.
They keep you out of your comfort zone.
And Wings are so like that's been a talking point this tournament, that the teams doing the best, the ones playing in their own comfort zones. So Wings, maybe there's something to be said for them, even though they come into this match for 1 for 2. They're starting pretty well.
At the same time, it is worth mentioning that the CS advantage is decent here for Liquid, so all is not lost in that regard. And as a result, we see the net worth advantage relatively manageable, but it's more psychologically, it can get frustrating if you're Liquid and you're constantly getting ganked, pressured, and blown up in the early game. And now another smoke from Wayne. They are chewing through these no smokes for quite some time. As they make the rotation, Kuroki will be the one to reveal it, and he manages to crack it. So smoke will fail.
Someone has a dust. It's
the Oracle.
Okay. That's previously I thought was really good when they smoked around for a gank. They had a dust in case it breaks, but if you do that without the dust, the bounty hunter really gets in the way of the smoke rotations, and that's big value from Kuroki for sure.
Yeah, he can continue to apply pressure here bottom. He's going to make us go onto Ice as the Razor actually runs in, and looks like Chen's decided he's going to commit for this. They will get the Kurogi trade. They may also kill a Fada. The little golem's chasing him down, and he'll be okay, but forced to run away nonetheless as the Mystic Snake bounces all the way back to Matumba Man. He will retreat into the lane. Constantly extra heroes at the point of attack, and there is a Stone Gaze, so Matumba Man will be a tough kill. Have they overextended here? Cooldown comes out, it forces the TP. It's going to bounce nicely. Very ineffective Mystic Snake there, and Wings will retreat. Chen barely surviving. Still only level 4 at 7.5, but it feels to me like the main casualty of this level of aggression is that they're not really getting their levels on that support.
You know what? It actually is a common thread. I feel the game where I saw Wings beat Vega, it also involved a bunch of lane swapping. They laned in strange ways. We weren't really sure what they were going to do, and that's like, I think, fundamental to how chaotic they are. Like, you can't figure out what their system is. I kind of agree with what you were saying earlier. Liquid are fine. They got a lot of farm. It's not like Wings are destroying them. But coming from a context of like we weren't really sure how Wings were going to play the early game, and now they got all these kills early on, I'm impressed.
I'm impressed, and I'm curious to see if they can convert it into a strong mid game. For now, Emerson Tiny back behind the tower, very low on mana.
Radiant structures
Just trying to get his level 6 here. Matumba Man has been left alone, and he's the leader in CS. So an All-Flame Medusa gave up the first blood, but now probably the leader in net worth with that last hit as well. In fact, is above the Slark even.
What's our Slark building into? Because I feel like that's going to be quite a key factor in... Okay, we don't actually know yet.
Treads into Aquila, and then the question is, does he go for your Shadow Blade, your Blink Dagger? Does he try to get greedy into a Midas build?
I think the Slark is going to be the key player for Wings as we go into the mid game. You're asking, are they going to convert? If Slark's going to get that value and just be like an absolute imminent threat all over the map, that's going to be a huge problem for Liquid. We did speak before at the start of the game.
It's a good Slark game.
Yeah, exactly. There's just not enough to control him.
Well, there is a bit of a backstab brewing in the mid lane. The courier.
Yeah, denied.
He had the scent, but closed the gap in time. I think he was maybe going to drop another ward. He had any? No, nothing on him currently. At the same time, Medusa posting up very aggressively in the bottom lane. Oh man, just fearless at this point. He's got no backup really. Long range toss will connect. The Slark's gonna pounce. Mind control now caught out. This would be a big kill, and it looks like they should be able to grab it with proper. Chen Micro tries to turn with the wall. Shadow will live to tell the tale, and Ice on the back of that will get himself quite a bit of additional gold.
And these mad golems throwing rocks, doing work all over the map this game. Like, it's actually like a...
terrifying.
I mean, when the golems became better, people mostly talked about Doom because Chen wasn't really in the game then, but now that Chen's being picked again, like, we should go back to the fact that, you know, golems getting those spells is a pretty big Chen buff.
Lung cancer is coming soon for Wings with all the smoke that they've been consuming here as they again use up what I believe is their last smoke for 8+ minutes in a sense. And they get caught out in the bottom lane and will end up going down. He does match the Snare, but Tomaman who gets caught by a crush. Now the Rocket Brush coming in, pops the stick, tries to TP out, and will end up dropping just barely there at the last second. Siege continues in earnest. Shadow, top lane, working on the tower, but it's a slow go for the Slark. Not the best at bringing these structures down at this stage. And that will secure them the Starladder Blink, which, I mean, you mentioned the Slark and how important his role will be in this game, and Starladder probably to me the one that can really catapult him into prominence as the main initiator and ganker for the team.
It's also super impressive because this Starladder has basically been roaming, like roaming Starladder since minute 1.
Dual roaming Starladder.
And he's gotten the Blink at a really good timing.
How does he use it? Well, smoke. Looks like they'll have one more soon. Actually available now.
Yeah, and that's one thing I definitely understand about this Wings team. They don't like to stop. In fact, when they lost against Virtus Pro yesterday, the game wasn't actually that... I mean, I don't think it was that one-sided, but they went into a fight which we thought, like, how could they possibly win the fight at the Rush Pit? And that's kind of how they play, almost like MVP Korean Dota style. Like, they want to just keep going into fight after fight. I don't think there's going to be a point where Wings like, just, okay, let's sit back and farm a bit. Starladder's got Blink, I expect they go for the next kill soon.
Alright, I'll keep the Plague ready just in case. Pyro does grab the drum, so it will be an early combat item for him. Let's see where Wings look to engage with aggression. They do have that smoke ready to go. They are gearing up for something. Just a little conga line down the river. Parade of Chen creeps with Faith Beyond close behind Innocence there as well. This is going to be scouted, and they just calmly march up as a pack.
And now that
maintaining a good formation.
Now that they're out of smokes, it's a lot less subtle.
They had one more in the shop. I'm not sure if they actually bought.
Dire's middle tower is under
yet.
attack.
Maybe they're deciding they need to chill. Save something for later. Kuro, though, there's the Blink reveal. I think they actually had already seen it from the ward, but in the end, he will go down.
Kuro's not quite level 6 yet either, so it's gonna be another important marker for Liquid. I think if they get him to level 6, get a few tracks, it takes maybe one fight and Liquid are looking healthy.
But yeah, this is definitely the timing where Wings get really scary, and they're going to try to abuse it now. The cooldown comes through, Cask will bounce, but Fada needs to TP away very quickly, and does make it home on just a sliver of HP. Not so lucky will be Jarex. A secondary crush finishes him off, but now Medusa gets into the fight, tries to go into Ice, out of mana though. Follow-up amp damage, Centaur stun, very nicely microed here by Ice. Innocent, maybe the trade stays alive for now, does drop in the end though as they overwhelm with a bit of additional burst damage, and onto mind control they go. Laying into him, Rocket Barrage going to work, turns with the wall, tries to man fight this, but there's too many Chen creeps, he will end up falling, gets the trade. Kuro may get something here as well, Track now online, just barely able to stay in range, get the kill, and then the turn back the other direction, get that little yellow goblin, can they do it? One last swing from the Mud Golem finishes the job. Chaos everywhere erupts, and Slark says, great, I'm just gonna farm top lane.
I think Kuro must have got like over 1,000 gold in that fight. Like, he got so rich. Yeah, he got like 900 gold. So
the rest of the team, not so much.
Yeah, I don't know, like what's the item the bounty hunter buys to get back? He just bought a bunch of wards.
I still think that's a huge win for Wings though, because Shadow wasn't even there. They were farming the whole time. Now he's got a Shadow Blade.
Dire's top tower
and that was basically a 4v5.
Yeah, absolutely. Like if that 1,000 gold goes to Razor or Medusa or Darkseer, maybe it's a different story, but that's exactly my point. The bounty hunter doesn't have some like impact item that suddenly is going to change things around.
Gotcha. Yeah, I would agree with you there. Now, I guess the question becomes, with the Shadow Blade, who's your target if you're the Slark? Who are you looking to kill?
I guess whoever you find. He's found Medusa.
I'm not sure that's not a kill, is it? Is it? Maybe it is. Jumps on him, forces up the Stone Gaze, and then just walks away. Oh, Stone Gaze down. That's still quite good for basically zero investment from Shadow.
The biggest deal about this lock is that it extends the dynamic now, where Liquid are like struggling to read Wings' movement, and it's so chaotic. They could be anywhere, they could threaten us, and Liquid have to be more and more afraid, I think, as they farm.
Arax trying to eke a little farm out of this Radiant jungle, and Chen marches in, but he walks into a death ward as well as a wall, but the turn and crush comes Fade. Beyond trying to spin this one on its head, then the Oracle arrives, looks to keep the team alive a bit longer. Follow-up amp on the mind control, they're going to lose him as well. That's 3 down for only a Chen. Not worth it.
Dire's middle tower
Not worth it
is
at
under
all.
attack.
And again, they're taking these fights without Slark, who's split pushing, and now up to 7,000 net worth. So not only applying pressure, but also out farming them. This is
Dire's middle
it is
tower
that just
is
brand
under
of chaotic
attack.
Dota that Wings play their best at. And you know, looking at Liquid over the past couple months, again, they have mostly played, I would call it very like, you know, stereotypical Chinese Dota in a way, even though they're a European team where it's very organized. They don't take too many unnecessary risks. They hit their timings. A little bit predictable, but they just win through execution more than anything. But Wings is just not letting them get into their comfort zone.
Dire's
Yeah, absolutely.
bottom
Liquid have
tower
had a
is under
careful
attack.
approach, and they're not even being allowed to play carefully in this game. I still do think that if they take a big fight with a few tracks, their draft puts them in a great position.
Oh,
But at this point, I'm ready to say that it's not just Wings having lots of kills. Wings are ahead, very clearly.
Yeah, if it was just kills before, that has changed. That
Dire's
equation has
bottom
changed
tower
since.
is under attack.
They have the Chen doesn't have mech yet, right? Darkseer has his. So
Chen mech very close, I believe. Yeah, 600 gold or so to go.
that's maybe one difference maker, that the Darkseer gets the mech first. So if they get into a fight sometime soon, might be an important window in the game.
Unfortunately for him, it is a pretty short window, with only, you know, probably a wave or two of creeps to go.
And we've seen that there are more smokes. There's a smoke that's on the Chen. Actually, smoke gets bought on Witch Doctor as well. The track's up, it's going to be much more difficult now for Wings to make those smoke plays.
Roki is on the move here, has a DD rune. He's going to scout out Ice. I'm not sure that's a solo kill. There's a Hand of God available, and oh, hello, buddy. He is popping the dust now. Bardar's there in time. Oh, this hurts. Roki, he had the DD rune. He was looking for a big play. Instead, it is big feed, and that will pretty much secure the mech. Mind control on the way out. Does get snared just on the boundary of the call down. The backpack from mind control, but both call down procs will hit. The rocket follows him through the trees. Around and around he goes, but finished off by the Oracle. 20-7. And meanwhile, top lane looks like Slark wants to make a jump. Pouncing onto Matumba Man. There is no mana for a Stone Gaze. He doesn't even have the mana with the stick. Shadow could maybe go for this one. Oh, popping the ult now. Needs to find him. Dark Pack is there. Just smack him once more. Gets him with the dagger. Unfortunately, that mana management a bit too tricky. We'll end up dropping.
I gotta say, like, grats to Starladder so
Dire's
far this
bottom
game.
tower
For
is
me, the
under
MVP
attack.
so far of the game. He's just
Dire's
like,
structures
out
are
of
fortified.
complete adversity in an impossible lane, started roaming right at the beginning, and he's just been getting the exact right crashes at the right times, catching Kuro a few times, saving teammates with a double crash in his own jungle.
Dire's bottom
It's almost a
tower
perfect
has
starter
fallen.
game for me so far.
You know, top lane.
Dire's
Shadow.
bottom tower is under attack.
Aggressively farming, knowing that's a big concern for Liquid.
Dark up to board 4 stuff.
Oh.
Is he gonna push his rocket? He's got max rocket. Is that the plan? Are we gonna actually
I
see
guess.
that? Have you ever seen that happen in a?
Not in a serious match. I mean, I've played pubs where we all buy 4 stabs and just shove it into them right away, but
I mean, he's bought it. There's no other.
that's the only reason to get it, right? There's no clockwork here. There's not even a great chasing
and
hero.
he's maxed the rocket. It's absolutely.
I guess that's the play.
Our observer needs to see the 4-star in
Radiant's
rocket, please.
courier
This is
has
like the
been
most
killed.
important thing in the game.
Yeah, forget about that courier death. Come on, Pit Muckle, get your shit together.
I think I threw him off. I think that's my fault. But I just want to see. I don't even know what it looks like. I haven't seen it in a pub. Like, what is it? Does it look like the normal rocket animation, or like?
It just like it literally just shoves it forward.
They're gonna have a 4-star soon on the Starladder too. So if they really want to do the mass 4-star.
Oh, and this is sweet. Look at that. You've got the arcane rune now as well.
You can spam shove rockets.
Yeah,
at people.
spam the shoving, spam the rockets. That'd be good stuff.
It's mind control and trouble. He's gonna TP out. There's nothing to. Yeah.
I mean, is this where you double down, grab a veil? You know, maybe even go for that classic Aghanim Scepter gyrocopter.
There we go. Starladder catches again, and Kuro's dead again.
I almost feel like this is my team's got this in the bag build, so I'm just gonna build a fun item. But that is having not seen it just yet. Is Shadow engages. Jungle almost finds himself a Darkseer kill. Again, the pressure mounting.
I don't know, our mistake is to try and like understand what Wings are doing. They're just like...
Our mistake is to try to understand Wings.
Yeah, they're just so next level. They like think in a totally different way. And
are you saying they are actually aliens?
I don't know if I'd go with that. But they're very good at Dota.
But if one Dota team was actually aliens, Wings might be atop the list.
Yeah, it's possible.
With the strangeness of some of their builds.
You know, they actually got unlucky to... Well, it depends how you see luck. Like, they didn't make it out of the groups in the Shanghai qualifier. But if there was the old point system with 3 points for a win,
they would have.
Yeah.
And Shadow just a one-man wrecking crew at this point. He got tons of space early, and now he's able to punish all over the map. Gyro just casually skating about 2,500 gold picked up. What's it gonna be?
Does he go for like, I don't know, is it Ags? Is it like...
Veil. I think it's Veil if you just want to really take advantage of your nuke damage. Yes, the 4-staff rapier build. I am sure that's definitely the item.
Yeah, I wish... Do you remember in Dota 1 end of game scorecard you could see like how many times each hero killed each other hero?
Yeah.
I would love to know like how many times Starladder's killed Bounty Hunter this game.
I feel like he's been there every time. The Blink Dagger reveal was there, and in fact you can run right to Kuro again, and right away down he goes.
As we said, Starladder killed Bounty Hunter. I feel like Kuro must be so sick of this Starladder, but honestly this Starladder has been amazing, incredible. It's the best Starladder I've seen this patch for sure.
How many Starladders have there been this patch? It's definitely fallen off a lot.
Absolutely, but not for Wings.
No.
Because they got their own meta, and they're making it work.
For those wondering, guys, they are building the stage in the arena right now. No, nobody is up to shenanigans here in the casting booth. That is a hammer. Stage is under construction. It looks pretty cool, actually. I'm excited to see the big show tomorrow.
That looks really cool.
Wings on. Oh, he wants to go in. Shadow's giving him a bit of vision. Is gonna fight Jack. You jinxed him. Knoxville. Be very disappointed in you.
I mean,
you talked him up.
He missed one stomp. He's still MVP for me.
I don't know, Scat. I think he is. I think this is the South African curse in play.
Radiant structures
Could be. Fortified. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, this is like if after the game, if Wings win this game and after the game I go see them and I know which player Starladder was, I'm gonna give him.
You just give him a hug.
Yeah, like,
can I just shake your hand? I'll never wash it again.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask him for his autograph.
Okay. We're gonna make a move back on mid here.
Zakucj went back for the Asher, so back to more sort of standard.
Oh, I was hoping he would double down.
You see, it's
no half measures.
It's that unpredictability.
He really does keep you on your toes. And another Arcane Rune.
We see you.
So at this point, how do you see Liquid potentially getting back at this game? If they're going to. What's the play?
It's now maybe 2 fights. Early on in the whole time I was saying 1 big fight with Trax because they have Medusa, they have Razor and Dark, so they have better late game. And they just need to like close the gold deficit. And I think 1 fight with Trax is not enough at this point, so it's probably 2 fights with Trax. But usually what happens in that situation is if you win a big fight, turn around the dynamic, it actually helps you to win the next one.
Would you go so far as to say it's all a part of the plan for Kuroki and
no,
friends?
it's definitely not part of the plan. I'll tell you why. Because they need to win a fight, and I can't tell you how they're going to win the fight. I mean, I don't know if you have an idea, but is it the Darkseer vacuum into...
It feels like, yeah, they need the big wombo combo. Yeah. Like back wall, Dusa gets off the ult, Stone gazes a few heroes with the Death Ward going the whole time, and the Razor's right clicking. Their lineup is really strong around the Dusa ult, potentially, but in practice then you've got all these defensive force staves. I mean, we're talking about the missile. We have yet to actually see that come into play. The Chen saves, the Oracle saves, the Slark's naturally just almost impossible to kill, so... I feel like they need that combo, but if played properly, Wayne should not be giving it to them.
Where's Slark? Can we see what Slark's doing? Okay, he killed a Stentor.
He's got a jab. Alright, so that one's not on him, Uncle. You take full responsibility.
Yeah, that's on me. But Slark is actually going for kills now, and
he's gonna force out the Deuce, and then Fate Beyond again with the crunch. Even manages to grab mind control through this Vada, forced to commit the BKB. Can he at least get the Starladder kill? No, the mech comes out. Now they look to turn it around. Gyrocopter getting really aggressive here, and will bring him down. That's 2 out of the picture. The crush forward, mind control again, getting pummeled by Rockets. 3 down. No buybacks available. No Razor BKB. No Razor ultimate. This is looking dire. Seemed like Kuroki tried to slow the wave down a little bit, but they are going to be knocking on the front door now.
And this is not how Liquid win a big fight. it's not like that.
Not the optimal engagement. I mean, again, it's the Slark who just constantly forces out the Dusa ult and big cooldowns from Liquid. And the Starladder who just comes in and another 2-hero crush. No biggie. Nothing to see here. Just another regular day in the life of Faith Beyond. Who won't find the additional bounty hunter kill, but has thoroughly beaten down Liquid. Their base is in shambles. Now the fields are being salted.
Dire's bottom
family members carried off.
Attack.
Wings are taking over.
I don't know if I want to be that guy, but I think this game is like very close to over. I don't know if there's been a lot of teams in this tournament that like when the first reactors go down, they just call GG. I don't know if Liquid's that kind of team, and like they do have late game, so maybe they want to give it another go. But there's not even going to be a Dusa ulti when she spawns.
Wings do not want there to be a late game. On the other side, they continue to push on the mid lane. The whole combo is about to be up. They've got 10 seconds on the Dusa. And Wings decide to slow roll it. So that big team fight that maybe Liquid was banking on, if it's going to happen, it won't be in their base.
Yeah. So I guess they don't mind the fact that Liquid can like get the cooldowns, get their heroes up, because they're going to get a whole bunch of new items. Like there's going to be a new round of items on Wings next time they push. I don't know what Slark's going for, but he has a lot of gold there. Is the Abyssal Blade? Is that the...
Abyssal Blade? Yeah, I mean, I think at this point he can man fight pretty effectively.
Slaughter's got Yules.
And probably the biggest one. Well, that's funny, but probably the biggest one of all here is the Chen Egg. So now they've got the extra buffer of creeps to try and finish out the game.
And Jara's back to the Demon Edge, so back to the more standard build. The 4-step is just kind of in between.
The casual 4-step. I don't think we've seen one time where the 4-step has done anything for him, but it's a cool idea.
It's cool to have a mobility item on any carry, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, and Jara's never really buy like Shadow Blade or Blink, so if you can justify it, I'd like to see it in another game where like they're not already dominating when he buys it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
They are going to march in now. Shadow working on the tier 3 tower, looking to break open this Liquid base and put them out of their misery. Because aside from that first couple of minutes, it has been misery for them. Start to finish. Very one-sided for Wings here. The Chen army marches in. Missiles constantly harassing Thada, and it doesn't really seem like the missiles have been the biggest issue for the Razor. Yeah, he's got BKB, but unless he's willing to commit it, constantly kept out of the fight. They get another homie missile on the Batum Man, then the push comes down, only connecting on mind control, but it forces on the Thada BKB. As Shadow jumps forward, lunges in, kills off the Bulgarians, looking for more now. Directs on the retreat. Thada is at least going to force Shadow away, but he's still holding Aegis here. He's still got Gem, 5,300 gold up. They may actually defend the base, but it costs them heavily in terms of buybacks. And again, Faith Beyond with the Blinks, the Crushes, and even the Dusa all committed. Now the Yule Scepter on the Starladder. Can he blink himself out after this? The 4-step out, Gyrocopter to the rescue. And he is going to save the day, and Shadow's back in for round 2. The feeding frenzy continues in earnest. Liquid are toast at this point. 3 more dead, and that's at least 1 dieback there, I do believe. And there's the GG. Absolutely brutalized here.
And I'm not even going to try and tell you what happened in this game or how Wings won it, because that's just, you know, I think it's appropriate to in tribute to Wings to not really have a proper understanding of what their approach was, what the overall plan was from the start. They made it work. They had these fast movements from the beginning, made lots of kills, collected momentum, never ever lost it, and